Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to cover how to lower heavy objects safely and staying in control. Okay, I had a user ask me about that, and I'm going to show you 4 different ways of doing that today. And I'm going to show you the oak beam I have in the air right now. I'm guessing this weighs about 250 pounds. It's a white oak. It's green. It's still wet. It just got cut last week, and it's very heavy. Okay, so and I'm going to try to pan up here and show you how it's. I got a pulley system up there. Change of direction. This is the side of my future treehouse. So not only am I doing this for the video, I'm going to actually be using this to build my treehouse. Okay, so so that's what we're doing. We're going to be lowering this in a controlled manner. I'm going to show you 4 different ways, and I'm going to show you the most expensive way first, down to the cheapest way. But they're all going to be safe, and you're going to maintain control over this load. Okay, and right now we're talking 200 to 250 pounds. Okay, I can't speak for excessively heavy loads, but 200, 250 pounds. Okay, all right, I'm going to shut this off briefly. I'll be right back. Okay, our easiest way and the most expensive way is the CMC clutch. This is a wonderful device. You can easily raise. This is what I use to raise the oak beam, but I'm also going to lower with it. And I'm just going to use one hand, I'm also going to hold on to the tail too. Okay, so I'm trying to hold this camera, do 2 different things. So I want you to notice I'm holding on to the tail, but the device is going to do all the work. Okay, it's literally just pulling back a little bit, and I can easily control this. No issues. Okay, now let go of the handle and it stops. If I want to lock it, I put it in the lock mode. Okay, so really that's by far the easiest way of doing this, but you're going to pay for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to convert this to another device and show you how to use that device safely, and then we'll just progressively go down to cheaper ways of doing this. Okay, all right, be right back. Okay, our next option is the Petzl ID. Okay, and it's much more cheaper than a CMC clutch, and it is rated for a 2-person load. So we can go 250 pounds, no problem. But the caveat is if you have a heavy load, you need to add a secondary carabiner and put that into that for additional friction. Okay, so I'm going to try to hold this. I'm going to take this off in the unlocked position, and we're just going to pull back on the handle and let it lower. And I can see the carabiner. And that is also another excellent way of controlling a heavy load. Much cheaper than the CMC clutch. Okay, we're going to progressively get down to cheaper options, so stick around. I got a few more ways to show you. Okay, so here's my next option, and it's fairly cheap. You can buy a large Rescue 8 like this for $30–40, but it takes a little more skill. And if you'll notice, on the tail of this, I have a prusik. Okay, some people call it third hand. So if this load were to get out of control, this third hand would catch the tail and hold it. Okay, this is by far, like I said, a cheaper option. However, it takes a lot more skill to use, even though it's fairly simple. Okay, so what you'll notice is, first of all, I've got the 8 device double wrapped for additional friction. Okay, at a 200-pound load, I need the additional friction to maintain control. Okay, and if I lose control, I've got this third hand down here to catch it. Okay, all right. So I'm trying to eliminate some of the shakiness I've had in my past videos, but it is occupying one of my hands. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this while maintaining control. To lower it, basically, this is all you're doing right here, but you need your other hand to maintain your prusik nut. Okay, so that's a triple wrap prusik on the tail, and this is it right here. And this would be much more smooth if I wasn't holding the camera, but you get the idea. Okay, but that is basically it. It's by far, out of all the 3 I've shown you so far, it's the cheapest, but there is another way that's even cheaper, which I'm going to show you next. Okay, but this is the device, though, so far, that has to have the most attention paid to it, because you can lose control or get your hands sucked up into the device or what have you, so you have to be careful. Okay, all right, I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to show you the last method. Okay, this last method I'm going to show requires the most skill but the least amount of equipment. And our only equipment for this lowering method is a large carabiner and a rope. So before I load this onto the actual load, I want to show you guys how to tie this. Now I have other videos on how to tie the munter and the super munter, which is what we're going to be tying, but I just want to show you before it gets loaded. Okay, so take your carabiner. Notice my gauge is on the right hand side. I'm going to take a bite of rope with the bitter end to the right. I'm going to come underneath, and then I'm going to grab the bitter end, the working end. I'm going to pull it through there. Okay, right now I have created a munter. Now a munter can be used to lower, but with a heavy load it's not enough. So we want to make this into a super munter. So you take the standing part, you bring it over, open your gate, and load it just like that. Shut your gate, and now you have a super munter. Much more friction, and it doesn't twist the rope as you lower. Okay, and if you're confused on this, I have videos on the munter and the super munter. You can watch those too. Okay, but let's do that one more time. Okay, orient your carabiner with the gate to the right. Take a bite with the working end to the right. Bring it through. Grab the working end and bring it through here. Load it to where you have a munter. Take your standing part, bring it over the bitter end, open your gate, and bring it through just like this. Okay, now if you do choose to use this method to lower something, you've got to master this so you do it correctly. Because if you do it wrong, it could be not good. Okay, but this is the least amount of equipment you can use to lower something in a pinch. Okay, so I'm going to shut this off, and when I start again, I'll have it loaded. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, this is the super munter loaded. It's the same log. It's about 250 pounds. And keep in mind, you have to orient your tail in line. Let me hold this. This tail right here needs to be in line with your load strand. Okay, so whereas with the 8 device, we put a third hand on it, it's not the same with the super munter. Okay, so out of the 4 ways I'm showing you how to do this, this one is the most skill intensive, and you need to make sure you know what you're doing before you use it. Okay, but in order to lower it, I'm just going to give a little bit of tension. There's an incredible amount of friction in here. And one-handed, I'm easily able to control 250 pounds. Okay. All right, so that's 4 different methods. And out of the 4, depending on how much money you want to spend, there's 4 viable options. I will note that anytime you're lowering anything heavy, you do incur a risk. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do any of these things I just showed you. Okay, make sure your equipment is rated for what you're doing, and that you actually know how to load these devices and you know how to operate them before you ever try to lower anything too heavy. Okay, especially a person. Okay, hope this helps. There's 4 methods of lowering a heavy load, and I hope this helps, and I'll see you on the next video.